They say the best things come from the worst shit.
It's still, you know, obviously a rough, because I'm still looking at videos. This is something that we got to see play out right before our eyes, and we seen it. So it's rougher, you know. But Nipsey's mom today, you know, put out a video that's making its way through the airwaves. So I want to actually, you know, play this video, and hopefully this video can be of a comfort to some people out there that we know are still grieving. So here's Nipsey Hussle's mother.
Students, don't fear. When you live your life and you have God on your side, when God dwells inside of you, there is no fear. Everything is in perfect order. Everything is in the divine, perfect order of our Creator. And we have perfect peace. I have perfect peace, and I have strength. And I want to lift you up. Please do not stay down. Do not stay stuck.
Many of them are stuck.
Do not mourn, because Nipsey is great.
He is the great.
He is the great. And now he is even greater.
Yes, he is.
Because he has no bounds and no limits. His energy is everywhere. He can touch. He's there. He was radiant.
Yes.
And he was so perfect that he had a sweet aroma.
Oh.
He had a sweet aroma. He even smelled good.
Wow.
So please do not fear death. Death is just the beginning of a wonderful world. And I tell myself, I just liked thrilling things. And now my son knows the mystery, the secret rather, to the mystery of life. Yes. Ashe.
So that's Nipsey, you know, mom, you know, also going on to say that he was more beautiful in death than he was in life. You know, I guess explaining, you know, how he looked and whatnot. Saying, man, no, I gotta defer this one to you, because you said these exact words, and we were talking about the whole, you know, the death thing, and you was like, I wonder, you know, if Nips, you know, what happens when you die, because it seems like everybody just kind of embodied his energy. But saying, man, what do you think about Nipsey Hussle's mom, you know, putting this video out, you know, to comfort the people?
You could tell she's very, very grounded in her spirituality, no matter what that is very grounded, because to have the strength like that, it just, to get personal, just reminds me of other personal women who just had to be very strong in very serious situations. And it often, and me just being a man and finding myself being strong and finding myself being prideful in the strength that I have both mentally and physically, knowing I don't harbor that kind of strength. Right. I don't harbor that kind of strength to be able to look in the face of just tragedy the way that is, knowing that my child was taken so tragically, right, to be able to go to the camera and to try to give comfort to other people. It just goes to show you what kind of foundation this brother had. And it goes to why he was out here doing such amazing things, because if she can out here and just give a gem like that to people that she doesn't know, that doesn't owe anything, but because they just had genuine love and don't understand why he's not here right now. They don't have any understanding. So they just mourn and they're sad and they don't have any answers, because a lot of people, and I don't want to say that they're voiceless or hopeless, but he was their voice and he was their hope, because there was no other way, no other outlet. So right now they're stuck. For her to understand that right now, before he's even before he's put the rest, man, it speaks volumes. And like I said, I wish that I harbored that kind of strength, and I give it to women, because they're strong, man.
And you can, you know, the funny part is you can kind of, obviously that's his mom, but if you look in her eyes, you can see Nipsey. You know what I mean? That's the beautiful, you know, thing. They're extension of each other. He left his kids here so he can leave, you know, his legacy. Great points that you made, you know, for her to be able to stand in there, you know, even his grandma, you know, first a few days ago, I think a news station went to her and asked her, you know, how she felt about Eric Holder. And, you know, that's commonly what we see. We expect any grandma to say that. And I think in message, we should be forgiven. You know, now when we were talking to the pre-production, the murder thing, I have a hard time with that. But I think that anything outside of that I think, you know, in our community, because imagine if the guy Eric Holder would have forgave Nipsey for allegedly what he did, if it even happened. Or if he, you know, he shot him and he said, you know what, man, I'm not going to follow through with this. So we definitely need to practice that more, because we let a lot of personal vendettas, whether it be somebody did you wrong, and we take it to the extreme too much in our communities, where we could be like, you know what, man, I'm going to take this on the chin. I'm going to let this go. and then whatever happens, the karma thing, you know what I mean? So I do, like that, but I'm loving the strength that she's showing out there. I know a lot of people, are going to say, nah, forget that, the guy, this, that, and the third, but all you could do is move forward now. More and more people know Nipsey than ever before. Like you said, man, his energy is all over right now. I mean, it's like, I don't want to, it's never a good thing, but I mean, his message is clear now. I think, like, listening to his music and seeing what he stood for is clear at this point. If it never was before.
That's a fact. And,
right.
And kind of going on with his mother's spirituality and what we were talking about yesterday, man, it almost felt like I was saying, in depth and no one knows what death brings. No, we all have our theories, our speculations, but no one genuinely knows. But it felt like, especially in this situation, all that energy and all that greatness that everyone was talking about, for the people that did not know him directly, for the people in Ohio, for the people in Jersey, West Virginia, wherever you may be, that didn't directly have effect when Nipsey Hussle, but was a fan or just felt his death. It almost felt like his energy was in you. Yeah. You felt it in mourning. You felt it in wanting to do better for yourself. You looked at yourself in the mirror and go, what can I do more? Mm-hmm. It was infectious. And it was like, damn, maybe when you die, it's just an explosion of energy that just goes through. And it's an amazing thing because it genuinely is true. His energy is everywhere, to where we're talking about it 10 days, 11 days, or however it may be after the fact. Burial coming Thursday. We were going to talk about Eddie Griffin doing a major thing tomorrow. So his name and everything is just, it's infectious right now. Yeah. It's going crazy. And this is one thing I want to kind of highlight on, because you alluded to it. We have to kind of understand that this unnecessary violence it has to stop. And that if he would have just forgave, the situation may have been different. Yeah. And we beat ourselves up in the Black community about not doing that enough. But please understand, in policing ourselves, because this is what we need to do and take accountability for ourselves, we can't beat ourselves up in not knowing that this doesn't happen in Asian communities, white communities, and all communities, just because it may be highlighted a little more in our community on the mainstream media. This happens everywhere. But nonetheless, let's police ourselves in understanding. We all, as people, as human beings, got to love each other more, in particular where we live, where we reside, where we don't own anything, a little different than these other communities. And in building our love for each other, the ownership and the economic situations will begin to change, because we'll start having that genuine love to move forward. Yeah, man. And it's a great point, because I know it's easier said than done. But it was like, some of these vendettas, we got to let go. We got to let go of some of these things, because it's not healthy to hold on to things. And that's one of the things that I think that we definitely should adopt, is that forgiveness thing, because if everybody just keeps going on this route, and you got your ego on your shoulder, and you got to prove this point to this dude because he beat you up, so now you got to go shoot him and kill him or stab him, you know what I mean, or whatever reason, or he denied he didn't want your CD, so now you kill him. That's crazy. We got to fix that. So not to be cliches, but if anybody's listening to this, man, it's not worth it. Go walk away, think about it, and I guarantee you, maybe if the dude was like, you know what, if he didn't do this and he walked away and maybe we'll smoke the blunt, you'd be like, man, I didn't even care about that. Come on, man. But now you got yourself in the middle. You killed one of the biggest people to ever come out of that community, and now that's on your conscience. You got to live with that. Well, you could have just moved on. You know what I mean? And that's what kind of the point I was even making with the Kodak Black yesterday. And a lot of people were upset that we were calling T.I., or I more so less were calling T.I. a game of clout chaser. And it was just the point that I was making, that it was getting to a situation where he was being so disdained and so just hated against. And based and a lot on the strength of what these two major people in hip hop and in the culture said, that you were hearing death threats and you were hearing this, you were hearing that. Yeah. And that didn't make any sense to me. That made absolutely no sense. And if you're doing this in honor, Nipsey, you got to really understand what he said. You leave the goofy motherfuckers where the goofy motherfuckers need to stand, and you continue to do real shit. Kodak Black said some goofy shit. Shouldn't have said it online. He should have chilled the fuck out. Young boy should have been checked behind the scenes, and we should have moved forward. Right. It shouldn't have got to the point where more lives are taken, because that's just where shit just goes to left. And that's where your point is. We got to just check ourselves and check these egos a little more, right, and quicker before we start jumping to rash conclusions, because we see in 2019 a rash assumption or rash conclusion to end lives, man. Yeah, it's crazy. You can't get them back, and unfortunately, that guy's gonna have to pay. For what he did, you know what I mean, at some point, you know what I mean? Definitely. Yeah, that's a fact.